Nate Williams here, director of the Apologetics Resource Center, and as promised, I'm going to take this episode to talk a little bit about the ministry and, if interested, how you can support the ministry, which I would greatly appreciate. ARC seeks to equip the church and engage the culture through apologetics and evangelism. You think apologetics, defending the faith, knowing the why behind the why you believe what you believe, then ultimately, yes, that does help us to answer questions and answer doubts, but also it helps us to evangelize. We have the light of Christ and we want to share that light. We want to share the gospel. And I know a lot of people say one of the main reasons why they don't share their faith is they don't feel confident that they can answer questions. And that is one of the goals of apologetics. So ARC, Apologetics Resource Center, that's what we're trying to do, to train, equip, educate so that people can be confident in what they believe in. Well, how do we do this? We want to serve local churches, schools, homeschool co-ops, individual interested believers, in various ways. We provide conferences, seminars, classes, and content, both in person and online, to help train and educate Christians to be able to answer difficult questions about their faith and defend what they believe in a Christ-like manner. I'll unpack that for a moment. You think about questions related to the faith. How do I know God exists? Can I trust the Bible? How could a loving God allow evil and suffering? So on and so forth. Very valid questions. And then the other part of this is we want to help people to act and love and serve like Christ. So basically, one of the ways that can look is not being a jerk online, not being a jerk in person. One of the knocks against apologetics is sometimes people get into it defending the faith so that they can just win arguments. And they're mean-spirited and they're ugly, and we really don't want to act like that. That doesn't glorify God. But we do want people to be bold and not to be ashamed of the truth, and so there is a middle line. But that's the equipping side of things. The engaging side of things, where we want to have an evangelistic presence in the public square, well, we do this. We want people to boldly proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ for salvation, and we want to share biblical principles as the foundation of human flourishing in society. So there's the individual level. We want people to know Jesus and to love Jesus. And then there's the societal level. We want humans to flourish. We want families and communities and schools and businesses to be doing well, because that helps people to live well. That helps people to pay bills, enjoy one another, live in peace. That is very, very valuable. And so that's a flourishing society ultimately, so that people may know and love and serve God. For this, we organize public events and produce content that is intended for Christians and non-Christians alike to be exposed to and engage with the Christian worldview. So I plan on visiting college campuses. I plan on producing podcast episodes like this and YouTube videos and Rumble videos, etc., so that people can be aware of and engage with the Christian worldview. What is ARC for? Who do we seek to serve? Well, we want to serve everyone who's interested, but specifically if you are a pastor, an elder, a deacon, a Bible study leader, a small group leader, I would love to be able to serve you by helping to produce content that's helpful for you and your ministry. And I'm also available as a public speaker or a preacher to come and teach your group if that would interest you. I'm also wanting to reach out to students. You're thinking high school, college students, homeschool students, and those who just want to learn. why do I believe? What do I believe? And things like that. And so I want to reach out to students to train and equip them so that they can be confident that they have the truth, that Christianity is good, and that our faith is beautiful, truth, goodness, and beauty. Then also I want to serve parents who want to raise up their children to be disciple makers. They want to disciple their children and mentor their children and grow them up in the faith to be strong and bold and gracious in how they live and how they act. And so if you're a parent out there, I hope that ARC, Apologetics Resource Center, is able to serve you in this way. And so those are just a few things about my ministry. And if you would like to support the ministry, I would greatly appreciate that. Here's how you can support ARC. One is through prayer. I recognize that we are in a spiritual battle right now. And if you're around Christian circles, that can be a little bit cliche. But if you're online, for example, on Facebook or Twitter, and you just notice how evil and mean-spirited some people can be, when you can talk about stuff that we all should agree on about the value of life, about how we should treat one another, and people will respond in such an ugly way. Well, guess what? There's a spiritual component out there that Satan and demons, that they don't like what we're doing, being salt and light to the world. They're going to respond in a certain way, and they will want to viciously attack you as you're seeking to represent Jesus and to love like he does. And so again, prayer. If you could pray for the ministry, I would greatly appreciate that. Two, if you could subscribe, share ARC's content, Apologetic Resource Center's content. I'm going to be producing articles and videos and podcast episodes. Again, if you see something you like, if you listen to something you like, make sure to follow our accounts, follow our channels and our different pages, and share if something catches your eye. Send it to someone who maybe is asking questions about these things. Follow us on social media. I would greatly appreciate that. Thirdly, if you would be interested in supporting ARC financially, that would be such a blessing. You can reach out to me. We also have a donation page I can send you. If you would like to become a monthly supporter of the Apologetics Resource Center, that then enables me to reach more people, to have more of an impact, to travel to different locations, different places, to be able to spread the gospel and defend the faith. So thirdly, if you could become a monthly financial supporter, I would really appreciate that. And then lastly, last but not least, for sure, if you would like to invite me to your church, your small group, your class, your school, that's another way that I can go and I can share the gospel and I can talk with people, I can answer questions, and I am looking to do that and set up events and serve in this way. And so this is the in-person traveling aspect of ARC, to go to where people are, not just produce videos and episodes like this. That's totally fine and that's good, but also to be with people in person, because that's when some of the best conversations can happen. Invite me to speak at your event. I can do a wide variety of things. I can preach on Sunday. I can teach a Sunday school class. I can teach a Wednesday night class. I can speak for a youth group camp or youth group conference. You name it, and most likely I can help serve you in some way. So reach out. I would love to help set up an event for you and or your church in whatever way would bless you the best. All right, friends, again, Nate Williams, director of the Apologetics Resource Center. I hope this answers some questions about what the ministry is, what it seeks to do. We are equipping the church, engaging the culture through apologetics. We want to bolster people in their faith, make them confident in what they believe, and we also want to share the gospel of Jesus Christ, the good news of salvation that is only through Jesus. All right, friends, be blessed, and we will continue coming out with more podcast episodes, YouTube and Rumble videos as time goes on. I'll talk with you later.